Hi, everybody. Welcome to Brush with Artists. So, welcome to Artstock PH. My name is Mary Manzano, and I am the Chief Imagineer and co founder of Artstock PH. So, tonight we have two guests, and also I'm going to be introducing my co founder in a few minutes. Let me just push her onto the stream. There you go. Hello, Fab. How are you this
Hi
evening?
everyone. Hello. Good evening. Thank you, Mary, for bringing me in again and again every week.
Yes. So for those of you who have never watched Brush with Artists before, every week, what we do is we interview artists, the artists that are currently exhibiting, as well as the artists that have works consigned to us in artstockph.com. So if you have never tried to collect art and you're interested to do it, and you feel a little bit scared and you don't still don't know how to go about it, just go ahead and either DM us at artstockph. You can see that our handles in Instagram are here. And you can also just go to artstockph.com and browse at your own leisure. Okay, so for today, we are joined by Ian Inoy and by Janroe Cabiles. So let me just push them onto the stream.
Hi.
There you go. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
There you go.
hello.
Oh, somebody's
Yeah.
looking for Tara. Okay. Hi, Suman.
Hi
We would love
again.
to
Hello.
have Kiara here again. However, we're probably going to schedule her at a later date. We just had her
Mhm.
as a guest last week in
Last
our
week,
Brush with Artists
yeah, we
last
had
week.
last week we had a really fun conversation with the last three of our exhibiting artists for Electric Youth. That's Kiaragan, Strud Moscoso, and Paulu Besedas. And this week we have these two awesome artists that we had for
Yes.
our exhibiting artist for Hindsight is 2020, which is our maiden exhibit. So it's still up on artstockph.com. So check it out later. And
Okay. Also, guys, so we are actually live at Facebook right now, as well as YouTube and Periscope. So if you're a Periscope fan like me, I don't know who else is a Periscope fan here, but I'm a Twitter lover, so I do Periscope all the time. So if you ever are on that platform, then we're also live there. Okay, so
Mhm.
please don't forget to share. Maybe if you're on Facebook right now, just go ahead and start a watch party with your friends so that they can also get to know us and our artists. Hello, Ireland. Ireland is here watching us today. Thank you so much for
Yes.
being here,
Hey,
Or
girl.
Ireland.
the
Ireland.
Hi girl, hey.
Yeah, I think I saw Ireland as well last night in a live stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Right
there.
there. So we're actually quite happy to be one of the few, I would say pioneers, right, Fab? I'm a little
Mm.
mayabang to say it, but yes, I feel that we are one of those pioneers who actually brought artists onto the live streaming world, right?
That's
And
true.
I'm
Yes.
actually quite happy that galleries are starting to do the same and putting
Yeah.
the famous artists out there. And we've got also Erica is here to say hello and show her support for Janroe. There. Okay. So Fab, tonight we are at season 2, episode 6, and our title for this episode is Passions and Endeavors. So let us
Mm-hmm.
know, Fab, what is Passions and Endeavors all about?
Okay. Yeah, so it's passions and endeavors because we're going to be talking with Janro and Ian Inoy a more in-depth look and talk about what they do as artists. For example, Ian is doing work that is pro ocean E, and I'm
Yes.
really a big fan of Ian's work, and as well as Janro's work because her work is actually poetry. And in the past, brush with artists during the launch, we didn't really get to delve deep into what they actually do because we mostly talk about their exhibiting piece at that time. So this time, this is more about them and what
Mhm.
they do. So
All
there you
right,
go.
I love it. I
Very
love it.
cool.
I really feel like these two people have been really, really busy for the last few months. And I know that we've been on for almost a quarter or maybe a quarter now. And I see so much activity happening online and like so much work. Like Ian, for example, has posted so much amazing work like online.
Grabe.
Like,
Daily, daily.
the only thing I want to do is like, can I just please buy one? Ganon. Yeah, and
Well, you
so we've
should.
got Quentin MacGyver. Hello, Janro. Janro, ang
Yes.
dami mong ano dito,
Oo nga
barangay.
eh. Oh,
I
true.
mean them. I saw them
Are,
too.
are they saying back to back, Ian and Janro?
I
Yeah.
know. 2 nights in a row.
True. We're on a roll.
Lagari talaga. Lagari
Sure.
talaga. There you go. So let me just go ahead and, of course, for those people who are watching us who still don't know who Janro and Ian are, let me share my screen with you so that you can see like a little bit more about them. If you have been to artstockph.com, you would probably have already seen their bios. But okay, Fab, take it away.
Yeah.
Um,
So let's start with Ian, Inoy. I really
Oh
like
my
this
God. What?
photo of you. And
Yeah, I
whenever
miss
I
my long hair. I miss my long hair na.
a lot of my friends would go, Sino yan ang gwapo?
Mm.
Grabe. Stop.
to be fair, to be fair, lahat ng artists natin sa Artstock PH, ano
Oo
talaga,
nga
maganda.
eh.
Hindi ko
Feeling
alam
ko
kung
ano
ano
siya,
yun.
parang artist search yung peg.
Criteria. Criteria yung
Star
sabi ko.
request.
For the
Sa lahat
for
ng
the end time to our audience, I would like to clarify it's not a criteria, the looks. It's not a
that's
criteria.
what she
Nagkataon lang po na magaganda at gwapo ang mga artists sa Artstock.
that's what she
Nagkataon.
said.
That wasn't my intention. Okay. All right. Ian Inoy. So Ian is a performance artist and a visual artist also. And his work is actually a mix of abstraction and figurative, but mostly recently I've been mostly seeing abstract expressionism. And it's
Yes.
beautiful because I've seen the progress of your art and it's going more and more detailed by the day. So I really like that. And Ian Inoy is actually an artist who's working towards environmental preservation awareness. So if you follow him on Instagram, you would see that most of his work promotes awareness of ocean preservation. And also, he's a really good performance artist, and I know
Grabe.
him personally. So, yeah, that's Ian Inoy, another multidisciplinary artist in the Philippines. Yay! Now we move on to Janro.
Yes.
Janro. Janro naman, I really like Janro's poetry. Sa totoo lang. And to those people, to our audience who has not seen Janro's work, it's time that you check her out because her art is a mixture of memories. Like whenever you see her art and you look at her art, it's impossible that it wouldn't evoke some emotion. And I tell you,
True.
I kid
That's
you
true.
not, every single piece would have you thinking about your past. It's
I'm
beautiful.
sorry. Sorry.
The
Sorry to
genre
everyone. Joke.
is a writer of fiction, and actually, I keep telling people that Janro is not just an art writer; she's a poet. And
Oh,
and
thank
then
you.
this is true because I think poet being called a poet now in this day and age is very rare, and it's truly a form of elevating your work, genre. And so genre is a writer of fiction and poetry, and she is known for her rustic frame pieces of typewritten words and beautifully preserved wildflowers. And genre, you're going to be talking more about your art later. So yeah, let's start our conversation. Mary.
Ayan. All right. So
Yan
I
na.
feel
Grabe.
that
Sobra naman yung compliments. Parang,
Totoo.
ganyan. Diba?
Ayan na.
No, guys,
Ayan,
seriously.
para naman kay Ian yan.
Yeah,
Angela.
and
Hi,
again,
hi,
guys,
Dala.
I'm going to mention again, I'm really proud of the artists that we have in Artstock PH because one thing that most of you or who's been watching our live stream, we curate the artists and we put our trust in them. We try to get in and we try to get in artists that we truly believe in Artstock. And these two are really amazing artists.
Oh.
Uh,
So touching. Grabe.
Grabe.
I'm so glad. Yeah.
Ayan.
Well, honestly, honestly, when we first talked naman talaga, di ba? Parang we connected because of the passion that we were talking about. Yung parang when I was sharing about my art with you nung first time natin nag-meet, parang that
yes.
was the linkage talaga. That's what linked us together into being close. Ayun. So actually,
True.
I'm super happy that to be part of this. It's really something that I'm proud of. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Ayan,
sure. This
thank you.
creation talaga. This I feel like a lot of us in this exhibit knew each other or at least cross paths at least once. So like kagaya ni Ian and like you and me Fab and then also Mary and then a couple of others, right? Parang we haven't really like we didn't meet we met organically, I'd say. So it was really
True.
special to be like invited to this lineup of artists.
Oh, thank
Diba?
you.
Lineup talaga. Sino si
Siyempre,
Pikachu?
si Pikachu is my cat. I'm so sorry if you saw her, like, her
There
tail,
you
whatever.
go.
Kasi,
Hello, Niel.
Ano yung ano? Ano yung cat mo?
Very
ano
supportive.
yan? Girl, oo nga, yung buntot niya gumaganon-ganon. So, sorry. Pabida
Yeah,
siya.
it's
That's
like, it actually happens to most of the live streams that you would normally see mga meetings, 'di ba? Laging merong special guest, yung mga pets, yung mga maliliit na bata.
That's
And
true.
yeah,
That's
we're
true.
all single though, right?
Sorry?
Single tayo. Lahat tayo single, 'di ba? Are we all
What do you
single?
mean?
Hindi.
Like,
not hindi.
Oh, yeah.
like by the government? Or,
No, like government, like single,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
like not
Civil
married.
status. Ganun.
Single status.
unmarried.
The
Ayan.
government.
We're all unmarried, 'di ba? Yun.
Yeah,
Yung
yeah.
Civilly single, yeah.
Pero may
Single and
single
Yeah.
and not ready. Parang single and not ready to mingle, may ganon.
Hindi naman.
May
I'm so
single
ready.
and ready to mingle, di ba? Pero si Ian so
Parang
ready to
wala si
mingle.
Fab.
Always ready to mingle.
Why is Ian blushing?
Totoo.
Oh,
Why
hindi.
are
Grabe. Hindi. Wala
Maputi ka
lang.
kanina, ngayon pula.
Kasi kakatawa eh. Parang I'm enjoying this conversation. I miss talking to
Ayan, so can you tell us siguro Ian kung ano yung pinagkakaabalahan mo? What have you been up to lately?
Actually, I just transferred to the province. Like right now, nasa province now. Because, yeah, Quezon province. Kasi
Oh,
I decided to go home first dito sa province namin because I was trapped. I felt trapped sa city kasi you can go out and then I can't find inspiration anymore. Parang ulit-ulit na lang yung nangyayari dun sa art ko. So what I did is I decided to go home instead. And then right now actually ang dami kong na-absorb na inspirations that soon you will see also in my accounts. You will see installations, you will see more sculptural works na wearable, you will see bigger artworks kasi mas malaking space here eh. So yun, I'm
That's
so excited actually to share it. And ayun, parang right now this week medyo ano pa lang, adjusting stage and then siguro tapping into getting back to the province, getting the feels again. Ganyan. Pero
I'm so
when it comes, yeah. Ayun,
so
pero when it
like
What?
super like I really would like I would like to go to the province and just stay there, like just go to one island in the Philippines that is not so
Same.
COVID affected
diba?
and
True.
just stay there basta may internet, guys. Like alam niyo yun,
Yeah.
kung meron kayong bahay near the
Kasi-
beach, ampunin niyo na ako kasi kailangan ko
Kasi
umalis
kung
ng-
walang internet, we'll all die. Kasi yung work natin nasa online and all. Actually, yun yung first thing na inasikaso when we get when we got home, kailangan may internet talaga kasi all the works.
Yeah.
Tapos, syempre, when you file things and then when you get inspirations, you put it online agad para it's on a drive or on Google, ganyan.
Oo,
Ayun.
oo.
Pero when it comes to my art siguro, what I can share right now is, yun nga, sabi ni Fab kanina, it progress talaga. I work now with heavy textures, and to be honest, it's more me because when I started the abstract side of my artworks again, I was trying to incorporate representational works pa ng that time. Parang I can't strive away from having to have figures in the works. Pero right
Figures,
now,
yeah.
parang dead man na ako kung hindi nyo makita yung figures. Basta it's there, I hide it. And if you want to see it, you have to really dig deep. Kailangan mo talagang titigan yung works or else hindi mo siya ma-appreciate masyado. And
Mm-mm.
recently, I've been posting as well yung mga textures kasi parang that's one thing I've noticed. Parang when it's online, it's so difficult to feel an abstract work because it's flat. So I'm doing right now is I'm also embodying it in a way na parang para makita ng tao. I'm posting texture so that they also feel the expression,
Yeah.
and I'm really enjoying it actually. Parang mas ako to, parang naramdaman ko na okay, this is really me because I love expressing things and it's performative for me. Like the
Mm-mm.
production of everything, I dance, I burn things, I I throw the paint ganyan. So parang wala, sobrang happy ako actually with my art right now. And just to share lang, I have actually a project that no, it's an auction thing actually with WWF this October
Wow.
31. So
That's
for those
nice.
that are interested to help with yun nga, frontliners, yun, you could buy my works there. I'll be posting sustainable ones, yung mixed media ko wherein I use plastic bottles
Mm.
and yun, that looks like orals. Yun. Yun lang, a bit of me.
Very nice. Yeah. Nice one. Maybe later we
Yeah.
can, yeah, maybe later if you can share the link to that, para
Okay.
our audience could also follow through
Oh,
and check
or
it
share it
out.
to my share it to the private chat so that I can
Oh, sure,
beam it
sure.
up. So I can beam it
Yeah.
up. Like, so
Check it
just
up.
so yeah, I just I'm interested to see yung development din Ian because for the last weeks that we have been doing this for the last quarter that we have been doing this, what I noticed is that artists are in so many different places in their journey towards
Mm.
understanding more about their visual style. And as you all
That's
know,
true.
if you've been watching Brush with Artists before, Fab is actually quite what do you call that, discerning about getting artists, getting only artists in Artstock PH that have found their visual style, that have discovered it. And I still found that even if you've already discovered your visual style, it can still develop throughout
Yes.
your time, di ba? Pero do
Mm-mm.
you
Yeah,
think,
I
Ian, that
agree.
you have, that you kind of really, dito sa bagong visual style na to, na lumayo ka or parehong-pareho pa rin siya or ano yung nagbago?
Actually, it's still that one. Parang it just enhanced. Parang ano din, it's like me. Parang the more that you do it, the more that you produce your work, it just advances and advances. And
Mm-mm.
even though may pagkakaiba na sila sa isa't isa, you will actually see the past expression in it as well. Parang what I do kasi is I layer it very highly na right now. Like
Yes.
dati, ang gagawin ko lang is water splashes, tapos I let the
Yeah.
paint drip, I let it, kumbaga, flow with the water. Pero now kasi I use that as the background and then I layer it with another texture and then I
Mm.
dry it, I burn it, and then I layer it with another texture again. So parang
Yeah.
it's a process of me giving myself unti-unti dun sa artwork. And kumbaga, it embodies the experience that I have dun sa time span na ginagawa ko yung artwork. And it's really
Mm.
nice. Siguro mas gusto ko siya ngayon kasi parang I feel like every artwork is a treasure box for me. Parang if you buy, kunwari may bumili ng artwork ko, parang a piece of my life, meron siya. So once that I look at it, na nasa kanila na parang, okay, I can see myself there. Parang it's creepy to sound. Parang to listen to na parang naandun ako, pero I could see that, parang hindi lang yung art yung talagang ini-embody nung artwork itself. Parang it's also a
Your
piece of,
soul.
yeah.
That's
Yeah. Also your
yeah.
soul.
I
Do you
really
journal
like
on? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I really like that Ian's pieces now are mostly three-dimensional ish.
Yeah,
When
super.
you look at it, yes, it's like a piece that is sculptural, but you can hang it.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I like the direction that you're going for. I
Yeah.
really do. Yeah, keep it
Siguro
up.
Yeah.
actually that's what I think is the beauty of being isolated for now.
Mm-mm.
Parang
Mm-mm.
even though this pandemic had caused a lot of negativities, parang what we talked about before, na parang 'di ba
Mm-mm.
nung unang interview, I was kind of dreading kasi parang everything is canceled, everything is, kumbaga, negative lahat eh. Parang sunod-sunod talaga, parang kang binaril ng
Yeah.
maraming bad news.
Yes.
And as you started isolating and like meditating throughout the journey of this pandemic, parang doon mo mafe-feel na you have to focus on yourself again. You have to go back to your roots. Parang ako muna bago ko ulit ilabas. And then when I started doing that, to my surprise, nakakatuwa naman na there are more people that kumbaga taps me na parang, okay, I could really feel you now with your work, ganyan. And honestly, I actually don't care naman talaga with comments and suggestions of people. Pero, syempre, a little bit of praise and like parang acceptance from people. Parang, okay, parang you admire my work now. Parang it gives you a sense of happiness and joy na
Mm-mm.
after all the negativities, parang, okay, this might be the end of the rainbow, ganyan. Parang, ito yung this must be the rainbow after the storm. Parang ganun yung nasa-sense ko sa experiences. Ayun.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
and I also noticed that you've grown your following. So congrats on that also. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Yeah.
Medyo
I that if you're a visual artist, you really have to be active in Instagram at least,
yeah,
if not
actually.
other social media platforms, because it's visual. It's a very visual social media platform. It can serve as a way for you to reach new market, your new fans, and also
Yeah.
a way for you to show a portfolio in a way.
Yeah.
So
Actually, with that
So
naman,
parang
siguro
mm-mm. Go ahead.
ayun. Siguro with that naman, I feel like binalik ko naman yung sarili ko sa roots ko when it comes to marketing. Parang, kasi nung nag-visual arts ako, tinalikuran ko talaga siya. Sabi ko, ayoko na mag-marketing, ayoko na mag-adver, ganyan. Kasi that's what I took nung college eh. And then,
okay.
that was my previous work before I became a visual artist or an arts professor. So parang ngayong isolation din, parang sabi ko, sige na nga, balik ko nga ulit kasi nga, that's a strong point of mine. Hindi ko dapat
Mm-mm.
kinakalimutan na, okay, you can do PR, you can do marketing. So parang that's also one thing that I learned with this whole pandemic. Na parang the strong points that you have before, even though you hate the feeling of being in that position, in that job, in that career, makakatulong din siya sa mga endeavors mo in the future. So
That's
yun,
true.
mga realization so far.
Yeah, it's really true that you really have to take stock. Ano ko dun eh, I'm a big believer of taking stock at what you have. Kasi for those people who are watching, I actually didn't finish college, but there are so many, and I was in college for a full one semester. But I realized that, when you take stock of what you have, you realize that there are so many things that you can do, and the things that you don't know how to do, you can learn. And at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, even jobs that actually killed your soul for a while, I know we
True.
have had jobs that killed our soul for a while. You learn something from that experience, and then you can just get something out of
That
that
is true.
experience and move forward with that. Just take whatever is positive and just move forward with that. So siguro I'm gonna move to Janro. Janro, kung if there's one thing na parang like what Ian was saying, silver lining niya about this whole quarantine, diba? What was the best thing that you thought that you think you did during the quarantine?
Emotionally.
True yan.
Joke.
Relate ako din dyan.
Diba? I'm just kidding. Well, I guess this exhibit, it brought a lot of joy when I was interviewed. I'm sorry, interviewed when I was invited to do this, and a couple of other like opportunities to show my work, whether it be like print or hi Bri, yeah. So on print or like online exhibits, yeah, it really meant a lot to me. So I guess that's like with art, like in terms of like my art. I guess like it's weird because in quarantine, like obviously we're stuck inside. There's not much life going on. But then I went through a lot of changes, I'd say, like when the quarantine started. Um so yeah, it's really a mixture of good things and bad things as life usually is. What's weird to me, like especially compared like the past quarter maybe, compared to like when the pandemic first struck, is like we were
Mm-mm.
all planning like, oh, when this pandemic is over, blah 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 blah. It's like it feels like we thought of this quarantine or this pandemic to be like a blip. Like
Mm-mm.
coming out of this quarantine, parang we'd still be the same people who we were before. So like being stuck or like being isolated is weird because like I feel like life stopped and life is on pause, but then it obviously it didn't. Like it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
There's still things that happen. There's still really good things that happen. So
Yeah.
it's there, like it's really a mixture. I'd say one good thing emotionally, sorry, that I guess I realized or that's happening now in isolation is that because you don't really have much choice, you're inside, you go outside like if you have to or whatever, you get more time alone and like usually naman parang it's good to be used to being alone, but like this is like intense isolation. So like for me, my own personal experience is like it's really interesting to kind of get to know myself even more. Like I thought I knew myself pretty well before. Like I'm
Mm.
very like parang self-aware and whatever, but parang di pa pala, may level 2, 3, 4 pala. Like now in
True.
isolation. Good things. I think one bad thing and it turned good thing is that I realized how mean I am to myself. And this might happen to a lot of people. Like
Relate.
I always talk about diba? Like I always bring up imposter syndrome when I have like an interview or whatever, but then it's like real. Sometimes we don't
It's
notice
real.
that like right, it's real, girl. It's like a friend na parang lagi ang sinasamahan. Like me and my friend like call her like good Judy. So lagi siyang andon. And I feel like we as people like we're so used to like pumping up our friends, like super gassing them up and everything. But then we don't notice that we don't do the same to ourselves. So
Yeah.
that's really been, like this huge highlight for me. This quarantine, like I noticed how mean I am to myself, how much like I kind of undermine good things that happen to me, and at the same time, if like some like small bad thing happened or like I did something like wrong, like I already blasted like what the fuck, Jan, or like what the fuck did you do? Parang ganon, alam mo yun. So like with that realization, like there's nowhere to go but up because I just realized I'm a shitty person to myself. So like, okay, I'll just try to be nicer to myself, like I don't know, man, I don't know. But that's like one big takeaway that I've had so far. So like it's kind of getting me through the idea that like, um good things happen, bad things happen. Like it sounds so cheesy, but then it's really like how I react to them and how like I treat them. So, yun, yung emotional pa din. So sorry, pero yun.
No, it's not if it's not
I
emotional.
really like my takeaway from that you said is that our self talk has to be managed. Kasi,
True.
and I think I learned something last year from one of the innovators from the Google Innovator Group. Her name's Felicity, and she's from New Zealand. And that's the reason why I have a rubber duck. And I think Fab has met my rubber duck, right? You've met my rubber duck.
Yes,
Oh my god,
His
I have to.
name.
I have.
You guys don't know. I super
Oh
love
my
the
goodness!
What?
I have
Oh,
to
you're
really
Howard.
Kami ako nandun eh. Nandun sa...
more.
Ang
Oh my
dami.
Oh,
goodness! I
Six.
love it!
Um,
I love that. I have a...
7. Yeah, 7 pa lang
What?
here. But this is like the desk area. I have a room and I have downstairs. So yun lang,
Diba?
share ko lang. Okay, like
I have a rubber duck
continue.
too. Yung rubber duck ko. It's like my
Stress
that's what I
ball
use
or
for
no?
my self talks. It's what I use for my self talk. Now the reason for that is if you're talking to somebody, if you're talking to somebody else, you're usually not mean. Because you have to watch your words, diba? So you
Yeah.
have to be not mean. So if you're talking to your rubber duck as you, let's just say your rubber
Yeah,
duck is yourself, and then you talk to your rubber duck, right? Like say
That's
Rudy.
smart.
Okay, Rudy, I'm talking to you like Rudy, Rudy of last year. So alam mo
Okay.
na kung ano nangyari sa'yo for the last year, di ba? So if you're really going to meditate and maybe reflect on everything that happened to you for the last year, you talk to Rudy and Rudy is you last year. So you can actually
Oh,
say, all right, you know what, Rudy, just prepare yourself because next year is gonna be like, and it's nothing that you've ever seen before. Alam mo yun, you have
grabe.
to
Wait,
brace
parang,
for
pero you know what? I have this email that I send to myself.
God,
Parang,
oh my god.
yeah, it's future, a future emails. Parang, I actually
Like
received it
scheduled.
oh yeah, yeah, it's scheduled
Oh,
last 3 years ago. And then I received it 2 weeks ago. Tapos parang actually naiyak ako. Naiyak ako dun sa message ko sa future me. Because parang sabi niya, um, you will be starting to let go of your past career, the marketing side, and then you will try to go to attend masters, and then you will be an arts professor, ganyan ganyan, and then I know that I will be proud of you when you reach that year, ganyan ganyan. So parang ako, what the heck? Previous me, you're making me cry. pero
it is
pero I
beautiful.
appreciate it. And then I sent one again for the future me. Ayun.
Yeah, that's good practice. When you said a while ago that for your artworks, di ba, you put a piece of your soul in your artworks. Do you kind of journal that somewhere? Do you keep it somewhere like this art piece? There was a part of me, and this is the part that I put in it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
do you ever journal? Do you ever journal that?
I do. I have a Google thing for everything. Even yung mga parang for example, okay, the emotion that I put in this is because of this experience.
Yeah.
Kunwari, I had a failed date. Ganyan. Kunwari, I had a
what?
failed date. Ganyan. In a relationship thing. So parang, okay, itong times pa na ginagawa ko to, nagkaroon ako ng landian and then nawala yung landi and then I'm okay ulit. Ganyan. So parang na-encapsulate siya dun sa artwork. So makikita mo
Yeah.
parang bakit una parang ang kulay-kulay nitong part na to. Tapos biglang naging parang muddy na mas sobrang ang daming texture sobra dito sa part na to. So parang when the process is like that, dun yung parang nagiging yun yung na-embody ko na parang naisip ko na okay, this might be my emotional treasure box, yung mga art pieces ko. And then it's also written there kung ano yung mga experiences. So parang okay, date experience, and then ano yung end result, parang what happened to that artwork, tapos ano yung laman niya, gano'n. There.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I like that you're journaling everything, both emotion, tsaka inspiration from your
Mm-mm.
artwork. Ang ganda lang kasi if ever like a collector is like more interested to know more, di ba? You know where it came from. So just
That
following
is true.
through on that vein that we have been talking, Janro, if you have any advice to your younger self, what would it be? Like yung
Ay,
sabi nga ni Ian, kung meron kang advice to your younger self, ano kaya yun?
my gosh. Well, I would say take more chances, I guess. I mean, I am like somewhat of a risk taker, I would say. But then I think, especially when it comes to like art, there were so many times that I hesitated. So I really could have started doing this like way earlier. So like same
Mm-mm.
with Ian, parang I'm very ma-journal, obviously. So I really have like this obsession. It's actually it started out very unhealthy. Like siguro parang I would say 20, like when I first got a smartphone, like 2014 siguro, until like 2016, I was obsessed with marking every day. I really had to have a
Mm.
picture, no matter how mundane it was. Like, kunyari, umulan, tapos sa bahay lang ako, like, there's a picture of a window or whatever. Gusto parang ganon. Like, now when I think of it, parang medyo cheesy, pero whatever, it's part of me then. I'm very like I was very obsessed with like taking note of every day. And then like if I'm just like thinking on a whim, now what did I do November 16 of this year? I can just look it up, right? I don't know why,
Yeah.
but then like parang something with memories really just triggers me. Because like that's the one thing that you can't like recover. Alam mo yun?
True,
Like
true.
if I didn't write down like a boring day or a very eventful day, a sad day or whatever, and I forgot about it, like in the next 10 years,
Yeah.
I would never ever think of it ever again. And you know, like I feel like all memories are important in that sense, right? So I guess like yeah, I would say yeah, take more risks and you know, don't be afraid of that because another part of me did like I guess like you guys have bet me already. I don't really seem like a sad person or parang, alam mo yun, parang di ako reserved or parang emotional or whatever. But I really am. Alam mo yun. I really hesitated like posting about like my artwork or my poetry. Well, it was just poetry at the time I would consider. So I really hesitated because like parang wala sa branding or parang alam mo yun, like people don't know me for it. They don't know how like emotional I am. They don't know how like nostalgic I really do think most of the time.
Mm,
Sorry, stop. You
yeah.
know, like just take the risk, you know. Like they don't like first of all, pag di ka pa sikat, no one really cares. Like, oh, she posted this, okay, whatever. Like or not, like life goes on and whatever. But I guess like what I didn't know at the time was it's really more for myself. Like
Yeah.
I think I'm sure
Mm,
all artists feel this way. Like, would people like this? Would people not like it? Would they have a comment? Would they not like this color? Mga ganon. Like I know Ian's talked a lot about parang feeling happy or sad when like doing one of his pieces. Tapos parang may mga tao nagsasabi na sana one color na lang or parang I know we've talked about that kasi before eh. Parang
Mm.
for me as well, like I didn't know if people like sad stories, if people like
yeah.
happy, lovey-dovey stories or whatever.
Mm,
I think it was really weird. Like I'd try to like analyze it and be like, oh, I got more likes for this sad piece, so I'll try to write more sad pieces. But then like obviously, kung ipipilit mo, wala nang nangyayari. So
True, true.
after like I don't know how many years, but it's always like a year-long process for like artists to realize that it's really about our emotions, you know. It's not like a
yeah.
job. Lahat ng ginagawa natin is commission and it's based on what other people like. It's really what comes from the heart. And like napansin ko din yun, I feel like a lot of artists, regardless if it's selling a piece or like just getting a compliment on a piece or whatever, it really comes from like the pieces that we really meant. You know, that we really felt a lot of something,
True.
a lot of like pain, a lot of joy, you know, a lot of nostalgia. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's really those real pieces, those really raw pieces that people connect with. Because I feel like people can tell. People for sure can tell. If like a work is authentic, in the sense that the artist was feeling a certain type of way when they made it. So I guess yeah, just take more risks. Just don't be afraid of feelings because I feel like a lot of people then are afraid of feelings. We always call it like ang cheesy mo or parang tangina na itong bakla or whatever mga ganon. Sorry, joke lang. That's all in the past. We shouldn't say that anymore. But parang ganun, like I feel like people screw down just because like it's scary to feel those. And you know, you sound
Mm,
cheesy, like over emotional, but then there is power in realizing them and not being
True.
afraid of them. So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's it. Like just take more risks. Wear your heart on your sleeve. You know.
Yeah, and I just want to know
yeah.
if, for example, because you were saying before, like both of you, emotion play a really, really large part
True.
in making your art. Well, aside from artwork or aside from making art or writing something, how else do you deal with heartbreak?
Oh my god.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god. Girl, joke lang.
Yung nakita lang, no?
Unexpected question.
Thank,
Surprise!
thank, thank you for that question. Goodbye. I turned off the camera na, no. Ayun. So actually,
Nice one. Very nice
honestly,
one.
honestly, for me, I'm a Gemini kasi, so parang it's easy for me to let go of people. Once I say that ayoko na. Kaya when I date people, and it comes to relationship, when I date people, lagi ko sinasabi sa kanila sa una pa lang, I can give you a lot of chances and you can go back to me no matter how many times you fail, no matter how many times hindi tayo mag-connect. Just as long as hindi ako yung nagsabi na ayoko na. Kasi once na sinabi kong ayoko na, bahala ka na kasi wala na talaga. Even if you come back to me or even if mag-effort ka or what, wala na talaga kasi hindi na kita babalikan. Kasi parang I value myself too much and I know I could get more people, more talaga. Parang I could get someone else that's
People,
seven.
Someone
More talaga,
Iniwan
no?
siya.
Yes. More, the very, the, mas marami
the
mas
more
masaya, ganun, and the joke lang. Pero yeah, ayun, parang, I know my self-worth. Parang ganun. I know my self-worth. And I know that in the future, or someone out there will connect with me more. So parang,
Mm.
when it comes to moving on and letting go of people, it's really easy for me. And yun lang. Parang the memories lang yung parang, aray, ang sakit. Pero
Yeah.
after all that, yung tao, parang meh, ganyan. Pero yung memories, yung parang, sayang naman, yung memory. Yung memory lang talaga. Ganon.
Actually, yeah.
I like that. I like
That
that you
is
can
true.
distinguish between the missing the person and missing the activity that you used to do with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
person. Di ba? Parang there's a distinguishing factor there. Pero tayong Gemini, I actually super, super connect with what you just
Yeah,
said.
that's why I'm like, oh,
Oo.
Gemini too.
Sobra talagang give as many chances as you want, pero pag umayaw ka na,
Oo,
ayaw na.
true, diba?
Bye-bye.
Oo.
Yeah.
Oo, nakita
That's,
rin ni Fab yan. And Fab is
oh,
my
yeah.
best friend. She's seen it. She's seen it like up close and
Oh, yes.
personal. When it happened.
Oh, yes. I've seen it.
How about you, Brad? Kung hindi mo maisusulat yung emotions mo like after a heartbreak, how would you deal with it? How else do you deal with it?
Ano ba? Si
Ay,
Janroe ba?
Okay.
wait
Janroe.
lang.
Ano na? Ano?
if you
Ikaw
can,
ba?
ano, if you can, hindi si Janro. If you cannot
Ah,
write about it, if you cannot make
You know,
art out of it,
Okay.
how would you
Okay.
deal with it? Oo.
Ikaw you knew my answer. You stopped it. Joke. Yun ang go-to eh, Char. Well, I guess you can Google it, like 5 stages of grief ba yun? Tama ba, grief?
Yeah.
That's
Oo,
real.
oo.
That's real. A lot of people can, like, you can apply that to a lot of sectors in your life, but I feel like with heartbreak, wala, you just have to accept it, di ba? If we're talking about like love specifically or like different types of heartbreak, because like there's like a world full of heartbreaks. It can be like breaking up with friends. That's pretty
True,
real, diba? That's something
Yeah,
you go through when you grow up na, right? That's a very specific type of heartbreak. There are other like heartbreaks you go through with your career, especially for people who really value career. Capricorn, since na banggit mong Gemini ka, Char. So I don't know. Like I feel like the first step talaga, yung step, ano to, alcoholics. Pero you just have to acknowledge that it happened. But if you just, it seems like a lot. Sometimes people put it off, and that's fine as well. You have to like follow your pace. But then once you're ready to kind of just hanker down, realize what happened. I mean, just address what happened. Why it's not in your control anymore. Because I feel like that's one thing that a lot of people struggle with whatever kind of heartbreak that is. Kung romance yung pag-uusapan, since yung parang pinaka-relatable, I guess. Like, a lot of things that a lot of people struggle with the fact na parang, gusto ko pa siyang habulin or whatever. And that's valid. Go girl, get him back. But then
True.
you have to also realize, like, what's the situation ba? Do you really want to? Or again, like what Ian said, like, are you just after the idea of your ex or kung ano man, diba? I feel like that's really what the first thing you should go through is just accept what happened, see, or I guess acknowledge lang, parang where you are, and then just go on the steps. I don't memorize them, Google mo na lang, but yun, I guess.
Man.
Also
Yeah,
eat whatever you want. Eat whatever you want. Whatever your favorite food is, eat
True,
every
true.
day. No one gives a fuck,
Yeah.
right? If you gain so much weight, whatever, diba? May pinagdadaanan
Yeah.
ka eh.
I
Don't
totally
feel like
agree.
Yun.
I totally agree kasi nga, when people or when friends ask me kung paano ba mag-move on easily, I always tell them I can suggest a lot of things pero iba pa rin yung kanya-kanya. Kasi something will fit you eh. Kung masaya ka na kumakain ka, edi kumain ka,
Yes.
ganyan. Eh, kung masaya ka na
That is
you travel a lot, nung walang pandemic, edi go travel, ganyan.
true.
Parang
His own,
I can't dictate my life as if it's also your life. Ganon. Parang hindi mo pwede i-base sa kung paano ako mag-move on. Ganon, yung pag-move on mo. So yeah.
True.
You know, I'm gonna go back to what Ian parang initially said when he said that he kind of discovered himself. So, parang he discovered na ito yung mas masaya ka dito sa ginagawa mo to. I'm just gonna go ahead and flash yung Together We Swam because
Mm.
in Together We Swam, you gave like a small quote. You said that creating this artwork inspired a realization during quarantine that I'm supported by the people who matter, that I should just stop doubting myself and let my drive to succeed flow. I will ride the momentum of life. You said that, and then hearing you kind of explain it now, and what
It's
your
so
journey was,
relevant. Yeah.
it's still relevant. And guys, this is Together We Swam, and I really feel na parang, is it just me or is this a beginning of your journey?
That's the beginning of my journey actually. Sinabi ko kay ano yan kay Fab na everything
Yes.
that I've sent sa art stock are really yung mga beginning pieces ko. So, diyan makikita yung kumbaga yan yung baby number one. Ganyan, baby zero to ano. Parang sila yung first ones na binalik ko yung
First,
sarili ko sa sarili ko. Yeah.
That's true. And
I
this
love
and
that.
this piece
So,
actually you created during the first ECQ, right?
Yeah, totoo. Yeah,
So
the first part of ECQ.
kaya, oh, 'di ba? So, when you say the same, no, I do have, I think, I have Welcome Back here as well. Oh nga, no,
Mm.
they almost have the same kind of
Yeah, the
feel to
feels.
them. Same feels to them. May sinabi ka rin dito na no matter what we may be encountering right now, we must have the urge to create goals to get through these obstacles. Yung ating silver lining, like what you said kanina.
True.
I love it. I love it. So guys, check it out. Nasa Artstock PH po ito. And if you kind of forget, nakita mo naman yung aking handle. I'm just putting the Artstock PH there. We are Artstock PH everywhere in Twitter, in Instagram, in LinkedIn
link.
ba? Artstock PH din tayo.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Instagram and Facebook. So, yun. And our shops are actually available there too, no? Our shops are available in Instagram and Facebook as well as in the website itself. Pero syempre, you have to buy from the website. Ayun. Pag may questions po kayo, by the way, guys, do not hesitate to reach out to us kasi I'm really welcoming a lot of questions from our collectors, yung mga prospective collectors, yung mga people who have never tried to collect art before. Alam mo yun, pero they've
Mm.
always wanted to. Gusto mo naman, pero parang hindi ka sure. Tapos inisip mo, parang, mahal kaya to, gaano kaya to kamahal. Minsan price yung issue. Minsan naman hindi presyo yung issue. The issue is, how do I go about this? Or what sort of
True.
art should I
Yes.
buy? Yung mga ganon.
That's true.
Please don't hesitate to ask us questions kasi we're always here, okay, to answer them.
Yes, that is
Ngayon,
true.
pagdating naman kay Janroe, we have no, actually medyo before, hindi ko alam kung how I'm gonna feel kasi tinitingnan ko siya and I saw the detail of no, di ba? And that it was inspired by your past travels. Tama ba?
Yes.
Can you
Actually,
tell
hindi ko
us
na
kung
maalala
saan
to.
nanggaling yung
Nakahin ko. Char.
mga flowers, yung mga pressed flowers?
Oh my gosh. Yes,
Would you
sure.
know?
Nagnanakaw mo ba yan?
I do. I do. Like my children. Joke. But then totoo yun.
Mm.
Well, if I'm being perfectly honest, yung sa kaliwa, or sorry, the one here, tama ba? Basta, anyway, the one like sa north, south, east, west. Honestly, those are most likely from my neighbors. Yan, yan. North, south, east, west. Yan. Sorry, shout out pa lang sa village ko. Some of them are watching. Anyway, but then you can see naman, most of them are like parang yung mga weeds, or I don't know what to call them.
True.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, I'm also not very knowledgeable about flowers. I just really like them. I appreciate them. I don't know their names though. So yun, just a blast out down there. So the one sa gitna, that's from Tokyo. I'm super
Ooh.
proud of that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's illegal. I'm so sorry, government of Japan. You see this? I'm sorry. Yung nasa gitna, nasa gitna, that's from Tokyo. And it's interesting that I'm really proud of that because I got it in 2018, and I dried it in silica, and it retained its color. So obviously, 2020
It's
na ngayon.
beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, totoo.
Interesting, yeah. So experiment lang yun. The one sa bottom, I want to say right, left.
This
So
one?
sorry. Right
That
pala,
one?
right. No, no, no.
Right.
Right. The pabilog one. Yan. That one naman is from a bouquet from my partner. The one on the other side of that is from the bush of one of my best friends, si Jill. I think she's watching. And then the one above, the pink one, yung dalawa. Yeah, and that one. Ay, tama ba? Ayun, that
Yeah.
one. That one naman's from Osaka. So I stole it also. And then the one naman on the right is from a flower bush outside of my house that is no longer there anymore. It's dead. We took it out. So
Oh,
yeah. That's sad. Yeah, I have a couple of more of those.
it's
But then
forever. It's
yeah.
immortalized in
Yeah,
your art.
totoo. You immortalize the life of the bush.
That's
Yeah, that's
true.
really my intention. So like a couple of them, especially the ones that I stole. Obviously I don't have many of them kasi nga special sila, one of a kind sila, and like they're like from places where I'd probably not be back yet. Or yeah. It's special to kind of press them. Sometimes I feel sad about like giving them away, but then at the same time, it's enough for me to know that they are pretty, they are well preserved, and someone is looking at them, no matter where they are. So yun,
That's
that's for flowers specifically. Yeah, it's interesting like this piece, I guess. A part of it is a lot of like memories from like certain travels that I've had in the past. But then like the actual the poems here, is something that I wrote like in 2015, I think. One of the very first few poems that I posted also online. So parang published, ganon. And it was just interesting for me to come back to this piece, or this poem, because I guess yun nga, parang I really am inspired by memory and by nostalgia. So like one of my favorite movies of all time has a lot of, I guess like the main theme of it is like nostalgia. So when you look back at like a certain memory, you super remember it eh. Parang you super remember all of the things you thought, all of the things you felt. But then when you look back on it after a few years, like there's just a totally different memory or a totally different feeling when you look back na. So that's interesting for me. I guess immortalizing thoughts and feelings is it's like a kind of time travel, if you will. Because you get to see how far
Yeah.
you've come. You get to see like, whether it's a bad thing or it's a good thing, like you miss this person or you miss this time in your life or you miss feeling this certain way. It's always interesting. So this piece, there it is. Yeah, this piece is just an interesting part of my life, I guess. A time in my life that I felt very like I was very attracted to danger or to risks. I think maybe it's something that a lot of people would like relate to. But yun, just a time in my life where a lot of things were happening. I'd say. So yun.
For me, it looks very very romantic. But what I don't understand is why you named it No. When for those people who are looking at our screen right now, you probably are not able to read the the poetry that is included in the
highly
artwork. So,
likely.
you know what? I'm gonna read it for you. Kasi
Okay,
nasa malaking
please.
TV siya right now. So I'm gonna
Ayun.
read it. So it's a vice-bearing savior, or at my worst behavior. I'm just gonna put my cursor there so that you can see what I'm reading. So this is a vice-bearing savior, or at my worst behavior, will walk and talk aimlessly. And when I'm high enough, I'll tell you, I'm scared
Oh.
of falling. And instead of saying you'll catch me, you'll laugh and say, who cares? And I'll smile, and we'll both just fall anyway. So it's
Oh,
really, really
ha. Thanks, guys. Salamat sa support.
Nananakit na naman siya.
I know. Just continue to hurt myself again and again.
alam mo yun, this is like
Nananakit na naman siya.
this
Go.
is like the poetry version of an Adele song, man. Alam mo yun, pag
Yes.
narinig mo masakit, gano'n. So, pero bakit no?
Huh. Just kidding. I think like looking back at that time, so I guess parang it's weird because that's a certain memory for me. But then when other people read it, they might think of another memory of theirs or like another event that happened
Yeah.
in their lives, right? I guess the parang PR answer I can say is like when I remember that moment, I just think no, because it's interesting eh. A part of that piece is really saying like I'm in an unsafe, not really unsafe relationship, but then the situation that I was in wasn't safe. Um,
Mm-mm.
like there wasn't like it wasn't the kind of contented happiness. It really felt like everything was dangerous, everything was a risk in a good way, in the best way, I think. Um,
Mhm.
so I guess that's like the kind of play on words that I want to say. Like usually parang kung may mahuhulog, slowin kita or whatever. I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to kind of like have that shock factor just to kind of encapsulate like what I was feeling then. Like, oh, we're not going to like catch each other when we fall. We're gonna fall together. So that was interesting to me, and I just wanted to call it no because I guess that's how that story ended. So yun.
Okay. I love it. Thank
Oh,
you. That was really
intriga,
good.
Char.
Alam
Thanks
mo,
so
kasi parang
much.
I was never able to really delve deeper into it. Like the very first
Mm-mm.
hindsight thing that we had. We also did a brush with artists before,
Yeah.
and it's always been interesting to me how you capture all of that emotion into your work and into your writing as well. Because I love to write, so being able to say that in so few words and being economical with words. Alam ni Fabian, I like
Yeah,
writers who are economical with words. You know the way that you
very
can you
precise.
express
Yes, that's true.
if you can
Mm.
express something in as little as possible, it really looks. I'm really looking at it like mastery talaga.
Yeah, for
So yeah,
sure. Yeah.
diba? So everybody, please check out their artwork. So we've got a few more in our website at artstockph.com. Alam mo, hindi ko nararamdaman yung oras, and I really
Oo nga
just looked
eh.
at the time, and we're already like 56 minutes in, which means that
Oh yeah.
we are supposed to be ending this already. So I would just
Yeah.
want to ask you guys, siguro one final message to your fans, to your collectors, and to the people who would like to check out your art one day. Ayan,
Sino muna? Ikaw
Ian.
muna, Janro.
Okay, sige. Ako muna. You have more, so I'll go first. Hi. You can follow me wherever my handle is at underscore Janroe on Instagram. Yun, drop by, say hi. For the, I guess, first time, Char. But then, this is like the first stretch of time that I've been able to do commissions. One, because I have time. Second, because people are actually looking for them. So, yay! Thanks! Yun lang. So, yeah, just if you want to have something done, just shoot over a message. If malungkot ka, gusto mong malungkot lalo, message me. Sure. But yeah, I guess with you plugging, that's all I really have. But then basically just stay safe. We don't know how long this pandemic is gonna go on. People keep saying, "Oh, I want 2020 to be over," but what I want you guys to realize is it has nothing to do with time. It has to do with
True.
space and government and other things, but not 2020. Like, don't blame 2020.
True.
So yun, just try to keep yourself in a healthy mindset. Drink water, wash your hands, kahit nasa bahay lang tayo, whatever, doesn't really matter. Just stay clean, don't get the virus. Just kidding. But
Yeah.
yun, I guess, yeah, just really try to find what makes you happy right now. Because right now is really a weird time in our lives. People are going to be talking about this years later. So yeah, just stay
Definitely.
happy, protect yourself, protect yourself. Yeah. Ikaw
Nice.
naman,
Thank
ikaw naman.
Yes.
I know where you are.
Paano ko
Yeah.
sasabihin yun? Grabe.
Naman.
Miss Universe mo kami eh.
Girl.
Ayan. For those that are interested with my works naman, my Instagram handle is there. Where? Here at Ian Inoy. And then I also have a website, ianinoy.com. And then I also have a page, Ian Inoy Art, on Facebook. So everything's kalat-kalat kung saan-saan man sila. And feel free to message me if you want to ask questions. Even if you don't want to purchase, okay lang sa akin. Parang kung gusto mo lang matutunan kung bakit ba ko ginagawa yung ginagawa ko, I'm always open to sharing my experiences, my techniques. Hindi naman ako madamot sa mga ganyang bagay. I don't even care. And then siguro advice ko lang is stay positive. Look at the positive things in life kasi there will always be a lot of negative things. And as humans, as a person that would want to see a better future, mas maganda kung positive lang yung titingnan mo. And with the negatives, siguro get the lessons from it. Yun lang. And stay safe.
Yeah. Ayan. How about you, Fab? Any last words for our viewers before
Wow.
we end our
Well,
podcast?
to our viewers, we are on Instagram, so it's artstockph, and we're also on Twitter. So our Twitter, we also do our live there through Periscope, right? And soon we will be posting content in our LinkedIn. So if you guys are active on LinkedIn, please follow us because we will be sharing our articles there. And stuff that will be coming from us, the team, and from our artists. So yeah, so
Yes.
far that's
So, shout out lang to some of our artists that are also writers. If you would like to submit some articles over to Artstock.ph, we really would love to have your articles published there as well. And for those people who would like to check out our latest exhibit, we do have Electric Youth as our latest exhibit that is still up on our website. And there's a lot more art there that you can actually pour through. We still keep adding more. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, everybody, thank you so much for again watching us tonight and for staying with us for the entirety of this broadcast. Thank you for your support. We love you all. So, bye bye and good evening.
thank you. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye. Ayan.